Hey there YouTube fans, AC Productions here, and today I'm going to be showing you on how to install a full tank cover kit for the R1 style tank cover. Now over here I selected, if you're wondering why I got this R3 one, it's just that I like it because it's a full length front cover for the front end over here, and it's carbon fiber, so it'll match with some of the carbon fiber accents I got. And then I also got these side pads. Unfortunately these say R1. I may black out the one part. I didn't when I had ordered them, it didn't show anything here, so which was going to be perfect because I didn't want any badging on it. Unfortunately the R3 one came with R3. I will probably replace this part, maybe put a carbon fiber matching one like this one and just kind of cover that area, but we'll see later down the road. I'll have a link in the description below of where I purchased these tank pad covers. Now let me show you the tools that you'll need to complete the job. Okay, you're gonna need some blue masking tape, and this is just gonna help us on guiding where we're gonna put our side pads. And then we're gonna need a heat gun, just so you could heat up the center pad that's gonna go over here on the top to make it more pliable to get onto the tank, because this carbon fiber centerpiece is not very flexible. So by heating it up just a little bit, we're not gonna toast it, but we're gonna heat it up a little bit to make this more pliable, especially because over here in this area there is a hump and we want to make sure that we get full coverage on installing it. And then also you're going to need a super soft towel to wipe the area over here on the tank to make sure that there's no fingerprints and whatnot on the tank. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so first things first, let's grab our towel and let's just go ahead and give it a nice wipe down on the tank cover. Just want to make sure that it's clean of any debris, dust, and fingerprints, because if there is any of that stuff on the tank, most likely the pads and everything are not going to stick very well. So just give it a nice wipe down. It doesn't have to be perfect, but enough where, you know, there's not going to be any issues. Okay, so that's pretty much it for that this top part. Now let's go ahead and we're going to grab our heat gun and we're going to heat up this center pad. And you just want to do it from a distance. You don't want to be directly on it like this close, because then you can destroy the center pad and possibly melt it. So I would say at a distance like this, at high heat, up and down a little bit, just to get it more pliable. Once you feel it a little bit more pliable, and then that's all you'll need to do. And then we'll go ahead and install it onto the center part. Now before we actually install it onto the center part, if you would like to at this point to put some blue pieces of tape, this will give you a marking on where exactly you're gonna put this center part. I'm gonna start it off pretty much right around this area. I want it as close to the edge of the gas cap here area. So if you want to put some blue tape, you could probably put a piece of blue tape right over here on the edges. That way you'll know where to start off the tank pad. Now as you can see, the tank pad doesn't really, or the tank center pad doesn't really go all the way towards the bottom, towards here, but that's okay. My main concern is more like towards this part, this area over here. If I were to put it more towards the bottom where it reaches the seat, maybe for the old tank cover this would have been perfectly fine, but because I got the R1 style tank cover, it doesn't look that great when I do it that way. So I'm going to put it more towards the top. I think it'll look a lot better. But just to give you an idea of how this would look kind of on the old tank cover, here is the old tank cover. Now for those of you who are going to be doing this, if you wanted to do this for your old tank cover, this is pretty much how it would look like if you put it on there. So if this goes all the way to the bottom, this is pretty much, it goes up to right there, and it looks really good, you know, on the old tank cover as so, because it kind of matches with the rest of the tank, this particular one. But because we're doing it on the R1 tank cover, it's just going to be a little bit of a different setup, which will still come out amazing. Okay, so now that we already got this heated up, it's a little bit more pliable. You could actually feel it's actually a little bit more flexible. So what you want to do right now is you're going to go ahead and remove the backing of this adhesive tape, which is going to be the red part, and you don't want to peel it off all the way completely. You just want to get the two edges, and then we're going to just do half of it, and I'll show you that in a second of what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. You want to make sure that you don't put any fingerprints on the sticky part, and we're just going to go down one piece. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put it on to the tank, and at this point you want to make sure you take your time. There is no rush on actually putting this piece on, because once you get it to stick, there's pretty much no going back on removing it, because it is really strong sticky tape. So just take your time on this department, lining it up and sticking it on there. I'm gonna pause the camera because the camera's kind of in my way of doing this. So like I said, just take your time on lining it up and making sure that you stick it perfectly right where you want it. Okay, now here it is. It's already on the tank. And as I was undoing it, I was pressing on it. So as you can see, it's pretty much, and I went over the hump nice and well, and then it stops right there. So now that we're done with this part, it's on there securely, and it looks great already to match with my accents that I have there over the carbon fiber. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get this part ready to put the pad on the side. Okay, now for the side of the tank cover, you want to do the same thing. Grab your towel, get all the fingerprints and any debris or dust that may be on the side of the tank cover. Okay, once you do that, you get all the nice, get nice and clean. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our blue tape and our side tank pad cover, which will be this one right here, which we want to make sure that the logo or whatnot, the R, is facing towards the front of the bike. Now first off, we're going to grab a small piece of the blue tape just to get started with when we put the pad cover on. And pretty much what you're doing, you're just kind of making a kind of a template almost of where you're going to have this position, because once we take it off, we didn't do the blue tape method and we take it off, we're going to start sticking it on there and we may not get it correctly where we wanted it to begin with. So by doing the blue tape method, really you're just kind of masking or kind of marking the tank a little bit, making somewhat of a template of where you're going to start and putting the pad. So what I mean is that once you mark the area where you're going to have your pad, let's mark it a little bit back here. So we're just going to put the piece of tape at the edge of the pad. All right, so we got that part. Now let me go ahead and get another piece of tape, and it doesn't have to be really big pieces, it's just small pieces. You're just gonna make like I said, a trace taking the shape of the pad, so right when we're done and we start peeling the back off, we could just go right to that spot where we did it and then start placing the pad. All right, so mark it. So we got that first part, which is right there. Okay, next I'm just gonna put the piece right down here, mark that this is gonna be the bottom part. And there we go. And then a little bit, and then one more on the top. And then pretty much you're getting the idea of what I'm doing here. So when we go back to it, we just go ahead and press it in like so. And then put a piece right up here. So once I remove it, as you could see, now it kind of took the shape of this pad. So when we remove the backing of the tape, I'll just go right to this spot and then go ahead and press it down. So pretty much that's what you're going to do. I'm going to do a little bit more on this part of the tank, and then once I'm done, I will show you what I just did. Alright, so this is how it looks like without the pad on it. As you can see, kind of traces the line of the pad. So when I do put the pad on there, as you can see, as soon as I line it up to there, it gives me a guide of where to stick the pad, as you can see. Alright, so now we could go ahead and then apply side tank pad. Again, I'm gonna just give it a nice little quick wipe down real quick. Some dust did get on here. It can never just be dust free. Alright, so now let's go ahead and again, just like how we did the top tank pad, you just want to go ahead and just peel off a little section and go little by little. Now this one we don't have to heat up because this one is pretty flexible already. Alright, so let's go ahead and remove the backing. And I'm just going to show you a little bit as I'm doing it, and then I'm going to pause the camera and then show you the end result. Again, you want to make sure you're careful and not actually touching the stickiness because it is very sticky. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and peel a little bit off, and then we're going to fold it. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and put it on the spot where we had marked. Alright, so just make sure you're taking your time on doing this, because pretty much you only get one chance on actually getting it right one time. Just take your time on installing this. There is no rush on doing it. Okay, now that we got that piece on there, now we can go ahead and then remove a little bit more of the backing. And again, we're just gonna make sure that we put it on the spots that we've marked. I'm gonna hold it there, and then again I'm just gonna go ahead and press on the pad. Alright, so just go little by little, and like I said, pulling the backing a little bit, and then putting it on the areas that you've marked, and then pressing it, and then just keep on going until you get to the end. Alright, so this is how it looks like after you're said and done. Just keep on pressing it. There's no way to really tell if you got the air bubbles out or not, but it looks to be nice and tack, and it looks pretty conformed to the side of the tank. Okay, so at this time you're already set and done. You could go ahead and remove your blue pieces of tape, and you could actually use this to the other side to do the same exact thing. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on the seat, and then we're just going to go ahead and do the same thing what we did on this side. You're going to repeat the process, and you're going to do it on the other side. I'm not really going to show you that because we just did it right here, so it's pretty much the exact same thing. Nothing changes from doing it to the other side. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you the end result on how both sides look. Pretty much all the sides, the left, the right, and the center. Okay, so here is the overall finished product and view. As you can see, it's looking really good. It really conformed nice to the shape and curve of the tank. Here is the centerpiece. And then here is the right side. So overall, it looks great. Now when I'm riding, I'll be able to actually grip onto the tank and not have to worry about my legs slipping on the tank cover. Alright guys, so that pretty much concludes this video on how to apply the full complete tank cover set. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll have a link in the description below of where I purchased all of these products. If you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification button. Now you guys are up to date with my latest videos. And thanks for watching.